Let me ask you something. What if I told you there's a tiny, ordinary-looking penny from 1970 that could be worth a jaw-dropping $1.8 million? Yep, you heard that right. Just imagine. You're digging through your spare change, grumbling about how a penny can't even buy a piece of gum anymore, and boom. You spot the jackpot sitting right in your hands. I know what you're thinking. Come on, a penny worth almost 2 million bucks? You gotta be messing with me. But trust me, folks, this is the real deal. And today, we're diving deep into the story behind the 1970 D. Lincoln penny, why it's so rare, what to look for, and, most importantly, how you might just be one lucky pocket change away from being a millionaire. But before we get into that, let me tell you about a time I almost threw away a coin that could have been worth a small fortune. Trust me, you'll want to stick around for this one. So, let's set the stage. The year is 1970. The Beatles are still together, barely. Gas costs 36 cents a gallon. And over in Denver, at the US Mint, they're cranking out Lincoln pennies like nobody's business. But somewhere along the way, something goes terribly wrong, or incredibly right, depending on how you look at it. See, the 1970 D. Lincoln penny we're talking about isn't just any penny. It's got a huge minting error, one that collectors go absolutely bonkers for. Specifically, this bad boy is a double die obverse, meaning the design was accidentally stamped twice, causing the details to appear doubled. Now, doubling on a coin is usually a mistake, but in the world of coin collecting, it's like finding a four-leaf clover. If that clover could buy you a Lamborghini. The most valuable version of this error coin has distinct doubling in the date and the word Liberty on the front. If you see that on a 1970 D penny, hold on to it for dear life. Now, here's where things get crazy. One of these rare pennies was recently sold at auction for $1.8 million. That's right. One little copper coin that most people wouldn't even bend down to pick up from the sidewalk is worth more than a mansion. You might be wondering, how do I know if I have one of these bad boys? Well, let's break it down. Look at the date. If you see a noticeable doubling in the numbers, especially the 970, you might be onto something. Check the word Liberty. The letters should have a clear doubled effect, almost like they're shadowing themselves. Mint mark matters. This particular error is found on pennies from the Denver Mint, so you're looking for a little D under the date. Use a magnifying glass or jeweler's loupe. Trust me. Unless you've got superhero vision, you're gonna need one. Now, let me tell you about the time I almost threw away a valuable coin. A few years back, I was rolling up some pennies to cash in because, I figured an extra $3 would change my life. I was halfway through when I spotted a weird-looking penny. The date looked kind of off, like it had a shadow. But did I stop? Nope. I just shrugged and kept rolling. Fast forward a week later. I'm watching an auction, and what do I see? A coin with the exact same error selling for thousands of dollars. I nearly fell off my chair. I rushed back to check my rolls, but it was too late. That penny was probably out there, buying someone a cup of coffee instead of sitting in my collection where it belonged. Lesson learned. Always check your change. So, where do you go if you think you have one of these valuable pennies? You've got a few options. A local coin dealer. They can give you a quick opinion, but make sure they're reputable. Professional Coin Grading Service, PCGS, or Numismatic Guarantee Company, NGC. If you think you've hit the jackpot, get it authenticated and graded. Auction houses. If you've truly got a $1 million penny, you'll want to put it up for auction where collectors will battle it out with their wallets. First, never underestimate a penny. That little piece of copper sitting in your couch cushions could be worth a life-changing fortune. Second, always double-check your coins, because you never know when you might be holding onto a hidden treasure. And third, if you ever feel like skipping over a weird-looking penny, remember my story and think twice. Now, if you enjoyed this video and want more tips on spotting valuable coins, make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. I've got plenty more money-making coin secrets coming your way, and trust me, you don't want to miss them. Also, drop a comment below. What's the coolest or most valuable coin you've ever found? I'd love to hear your stories. Alright, folks, listen up. What if I told you that a single penny, yes, a little copper-colored penny, could be worth a jaw-dropping $1.90 million? That's right, not a typo. One penny, almost 2 million bucks. Now, before you start digging through your couch cushions like a pirate on a treasure hunt, let me tell you exactly what makes the 2017 D. Lincoln penny so valuable and how you might be sitting on a fortune without even knowing it. I'll also share a personal story, because let's be honest, I've had my fair share of close calls with valuable coins. And let's just say, one of them still haunts me to this day. So stick around, because by the end of this video, you'll not only know why this penny is worth a fortune, but also how to avoid making the same mistake I did. It's a 2017 D. Lincoln penny. Now, if you're new to coin collecting, that D means it was minted in Denver. And no, not every 2017 D penny is worth $1 million, so don't go quitting your job just yet. But here's what makes one particular penny so special: the IT has a crazy mint error. This error is what collectors call a double die obverse, which is just a fancy way of saying that during the minting process, the design was stamped twice, slightly off from the first strike. This creates a doubling effect, particularly noticeable in Lincoln's eye, nose, and the lettering. If you've got one of these, congratulations, your penny just got a lot more interesting. But why would anyone pay almost $2 million for a penny? Well, that's the magic of rare coins. See, collectors go absolutely bonkers for unique mistakes, especially when they're from a modern year. A coin like this is the holy grail for error collectors because it's one of a kind. And when something is one of a kind in the collecting world, prices skyrocket. Now, let me tell you a quick personal story, just so you don't make the same mistake I did a few years ago. I was going through my pocket change, just casually looking for anything interesting, and I came across a shiny 2017 penny. I flipped it over, saw the Denver Mint mark, and thought, just another penny. So what did I do? I did the unthinkable. I spin it. Fast forward to a few weeks later, and I read about the exact error penny that had just sold for hundreds of thousands of dollars at the time. I swear, my heart stopped. I raced back to the store where I had used that penny, fully prepared to buy back every single penny in their register. But, of course, my luck being what it is, it was long gone. To this day, I don't know if I had the penny, but let me tell you, that was a lesson learned the hard way. Look at the date and mint mark. It must be a 2017 D, not 2017 P or 2017 S. Check for doubling. Get yourself a magnifying glass and inspect Lincoln's face and the lettering for any weird doubling. Weigh your penny. A standard 2017 D penny should weigh 2.5 grams. If yours is significantly off, you might have a unique error. Consult a professional. If you think you've struck gold, or, well, copper-plated zinc, take it to a coin shop or grading service like PCGS or NGC. They can officially verify its authenticity and tell you what it's worth. Now, if you find a regular 2017 D penny without any fancy errors, don't be too disappointed. It's still worth 1 cent, which is technically more than I got for my potentially valuable one since I gave it away like a fool. But in all seriousness, these error pennies prove one thing: there's treasure hiding in plain sight. The next time someone tells you that pennies are worthless, just remind them that one of these little guys is worth nearly $2 million. So, what did we learn today? 1. Always check your pennies. 2. If you find a weird-looking 2017 D, don't spend it like I did. And 3. The world of coin collecting is full of surprises. You never know when a tiny piece of pocket change could turn into life-changing money. Now, before you rush off to dig through your coin jar, do me a favor, hit that subscribe button. I share more tips on coins worth money, how to spot rare errors, and the best coin collecting strategies to turn your hobby into a potential gold mine. And trust me, you don't want to miss the next one. I've got a story about a coin worth even more than this one. So, subscribe, like this video, and let me know in the comments, what's the most valuable coin you've ever found? Who knows, maybe you've got $1 million coin hiding in your pocket right now. Alright, folks, I've got a crazy one for you today. The kind of story that makes you want to go digging through your old pennies, checking the lint in your couch cushions, and scanning your wallet like a man on a mission. Why? Because there's a coin worth $1 million just sitting out there, in your pocket change. Yep, you heard that right. Today, we're talking about the elusive 1973 Lincoln penny with no mint mark. You know, the one that could make you richer than your favorite uncle who's always bragging about his collection of stamps. Don't believe me? Stick around. I'm about to blow your mind. Now, I can already hear you. Wait, Isn't a 1973 penny just a penny? Well, my friend, this one's not your ordinary pocket change. There's a catch. It's got no mint mark, and that, in the world of coin collecting, is what makes it absolutely priceless. So, let's rewind a bit and break down how this all came to be. If you're anything like me, you've probably found a few pennies lying around that are worth, well, not much. Maybe the occasional lucky find, a 1943 copper penny or something, but you never thought you'd stumble across a $1 million GEM.IN 1973. Something bizarre happened at the US Mint. Normally, every penny should have a mint mark, showing where it was made, like a little D for Denver or an S for San Francisco. But for a tiny batch of pennies that year, the mint forgot to put that mark on them. A really tiny mistake, but that mistake turned this penny into something incredibly rare. Now, you might be wondering, how did this happen? Well, I did some digging, no pun intended, and I learned that this error happened in a mix-up at the mint. They produced these pennies with no mint mark, and for whatever reason, they got out into circulation. That's where the magic happens. Because in the world of coin collecting, rarity is king. If you've got something that's scarce, especially if it's an error coin like this one, you're looking at some serious value. Imagine it like this. You go to a yard sale, looking through dusty boxes of old stuff. You find a beat-up picture frame, and inside it, a first edition comic book worth thousands. It's that kind of surprise. And honestly, it's what makes coin collecting so exciting. You never know what you're gonna find. Now, let's talk about the money. The moment you've all been waiting for. This little mistake from 1973, which was just a random hiccup at the mint, is now valued at around, drumroll please, $1 million. Yes, a single penny could be worth that much. And I'm not kidding. Some of these rare, mintless pennies have been auctioned off for insane prices, and the trend is only growing. You're at an auction, the room is full of serious collectors, the tension is thick, and then it happens. Someone raises their paddle. $1 million penny goes to the highest bidder. Imagine that feeling, right? The only thing left for you to do is find one of these bad boys. Now, I know you're thinking, how do I know if my 1973 penny has no mint mark? It's actually pretty simple. You're looking for a penny from 1973, one that has no mint mark on it, and here's the kicker. One that also has a little bit of wear but still looks decent enough for a collector to recognize its rarity. You're not gonna find this penny on the street corner or in your local convenience store. Nope. The collectors who know what they're doing, they're snatching these up fast. So, you've got to know what you're looking for. And lucky for you, I'm here to help. But isn't it hard to find a penny that rare? Yes and no. A lot of them were taken out of circulation once they became valuable, but a few still float around in the wild. And here's the best part. You might not even know you've got one. I actually have a story for you about a time I stumbled upon a rare coin, and trust me, it wasn't it was years ago. I walked into this local coin shop just to chat and maybe grab a few pennies for fun. I'm browsing the racks and talking to the shopkeeper when a guy walks in. He's just holding a bag of coins. No big deal. He dumps it all on the counter, and lo and behold, in the middle of this tangled mess of change was a 1955 double-die penny. I could hardly believe my eyes. Long story short, I didn't have the guts to buy it, but that penny ended up selling for thousands. That was the day I learned not to just look for the obvious stuff, but to dig deep and pay attention to the little things. If you find a 1973 penny with no mint mark, you could be sitting on a gold mine, or should I say, a copper mine? It's crazy how something as small as a missing mint mark can make such a huge difference in value. And just like my own experience with that double-die penny, you never know what hidden gems you might come across, whether it's at a yard sale, a coin shop, or your own piggy bank. But here's the thing. Coin collecting is about more than just finding $1 million coin. It's about the thrill of the hunt, the excitement of discovering something rare, and the satisfaction of knowing your collection is growing. And hey, even if you don't find a $1 million penny, you're still building something valuable. If you're serious about coin collecting and want more tips on coins that are worth money, whether they're pennies, nickels, or rare quarters, you've got to hit that subscribe button. Don't miss out on the latest news, strategies, and discoveries that could put you one step closer to finding your own $1 million gem. Trust me, I've got you covered. I've been doing this for years, and every day brings something new. So, if you want to stay ahead of the game, make sure you hit that bell notification too. And hey, if you find a 1973 penny with no mint mark, let me know. I might be a little jealous, but I'll congratulate you just the same. I've got a real gem for you. A coin that might just be sitting in your pocket right now, worth more than your car. I'm talking about the 1982 Lincoln penny without a mint mark, and this little copper nugget could be worth up to $1.1 million. Yep, you heard that right, $1 million for a penny. So, if you've been tossing around pennies like they're nothing, you might want to grab them all and take a closer look now. Before you start hunting down all those 1982 pennies, let's break down why this particular penny is so valuable, how to spot it, and if it really could land you a cool million. Spoiler alert. It might just, alright, let's set the stage. The year was 1982. Big hair, cassette tapes, and a little mistake at the US Mint. You see, the 1982 Lincoln penny is one of those quirky errors that happens once in a blue moon. The Mint produced pennies that year with a mix-up on their markings. Normally, every penny produced has a mint mark indicating which mint it came from, either the Philadelphia Mint, no mint mark, or the Denver Mint, with a D. But in 1982, a bunch of pennies were released from the Philadelphia Mint that, well, forgot to get a mint mark. The funny thing is, nobody noticed at first. It wasn't until coin collectors started really paying attention to the details of their collections that this little mystery penny started to get some serious attention. After all, it's the only year in the history of the Lincoln Penny series that this specific mistake happened. And what do we know about mistakes? They're rare, and rare things are often worth a lot of money. How can I tell if I've got one of these million-dollar pennies? And that's a great question. It's all about the details. If you've got a 1982 penny, start by checking the mint mark area. If it's missing the D for Denver or any other symbol, you could be looking at a very rare error coin. This penny should have been struck at the Philadelphia Mint, but they just forgot to put the mint mark on it. It's also worth noting that the 1982 penny comes in two different types of compositions. Some were made from copper, and others were made from a zinc-plated steel composition. The copper version tends to be the one you'll see more often, but the real prize is the rare no mint mark penny made from copper, since the error mostly happened with the copper composition. Here's the million-dollar question, literally. The current market value for a 1982 no mint mark penny, in mint condition, can go up to $1.1 million. Now, I'm not saying you're going to find that exact penny just lying around in your spare change, but it's still possible. The rarity of the coin, combined with its historical significance, drives the value up. And just to keep it real, this coin's value is not just determined by its rarity. It's also about its condition. A well-preserved penny, with no wear or tear, is way more valuable than one that's been through the laundry, the sidewalk, and a few rounds of penny tossing at your local bar. So, if you find one, protect it. Keep it in a safe place, maybe even in a coin holder, because the last thing you want to do is damage a coin that could make you a millionaire. Alright, I've got to be honest with you guys. A few years ago, I thought I had struck gold. I was going through some old pennies I found in my grandpa's drawer. You know, the ones you forget about until you start a coin collection. I thought I'd found a treasure chest of rare coins, including what I thought was a 1982 no mint mark penny. I got all excited, pulled out my magnifying glass, and started inspecting it like a coin detective. The whole time, I was imagining what I'd do with my newfound fortune. Well, turns out, the penny I had was just another regular 1982 with the D mint mark, and the whole thing ended in disappointment. But hey, I still learned something valuable. Sometimes, the coins you think are worth a lot might not be as special as you think. It's a good reminder to always double-check and do your research before getting too hyped about finding a treasure. But trust me, it could happen. And when it does, you'll want to be ready. So, what does this all mean for you? Well, the world of coin collecting is full of surprises, and while the 1982 no mint mark penny is a big one, it's definitely not the only coin out there worth money. If you've been tossing your change into a jar for years, now might be the time to start paying more attention. From rare quarters to unusual nickels, there are plenty of other coins that could bring in a small fortune. The key takeaway here is to stay curious. Look at your coins, learn what makes them valuable, and keep an eye out for any strange markings or errors. You never know when you might find something worth a small fortune. or even a huge fortune, like the 1982 no mint mark penny. Alright, I hope you guys are as excited as I am about this rare coin. If you've got some 1982 pennies lying around, now's the time to check them out. Maybe you'll find a hidden gem, or at least start to appreciate the value of the coins you've been tossing around for years. If you enjoyed this video and want more tips and tricks on finding valuable coins, make sure to hit that subscribe button. I've got tons of coin collecting strategies, coin values, and more cool stories to share with you. Don't miss out on the next big find. Subscribe now and join the community of coin collectors who are on the lookout for their next big treasure. You're at a yard sale, digging through a box of old pennies, and you come across a 1991 Lincoln penny. You think, hey, just another penny, no big deal, and toss it aside. But wait, what if I told you that very penny could be worth a whopping $1.2 million? Yeah, you heard that right. That tiny copper coin sitting in your hand could be worth more than some people's houses. Mind-blowing, right? Now, you're probably thinking, okay, this guy's pulling my leg, but trust me, it's the real deal. Stick around because by the end of this video, you'll know everything you need to about the 1991 no mint mark Lincoln penny, how it became one of the rarest pennies out there, and how you can spot one. Oh, and stay tuned because I'm also sharing some personal coin hunting stories. You know, the kind where you almost miss a big opportunity, but then bam, you strike gold. Alright, let's dive right into what makes this coin so special. So, most pennies from 1991 have a mint mark. If you look on the front of the coin, right under Lincoln's chin, you'll usually see a little letter, either D for Denver or S for San Francisco. But here's the thing. Some 1991 pennies were produced without any mint mark at all. This is what gives them their rarity and value. Now, you might be wondering, why would a penny not have a mint mark in the first place? Great question. The story behind this is that in 1991, there was a little mix-up at the minting process. A small batch of pennies made it out of the Denver Mint without their mint marks. Kind of like that one time you left your phone at home and you didn't realize it until you were halfway to work. But instead of being a mistake, this little whoops turned out to be a gold mine for collectors. It's estimated that there are only around 10 of these mint markless pennies floating around today, and since they're so rare, they can fetch up to $1.2 million if you find one in mint condition. Now, let's talk numbers. Why is this penny worth $1.2 million? Is it just because it doesn't have a mint mark? Well, no. It's a combination of rarity, demand, and the fact that there are a lot of people out there who absolutely love finding rare coins. The world of coin collecting is full of passionate people, and rare coins are worth a lot because of how hard they are to find. You know, I actually had my own experience with this sort of thing a while back. I was at a local coin shop when I came across a beat-up old penny in a jar. It was all crusty and looked like it had been through a million years of wear and tear. But something about it caught my eye, maybe the shine, or maybe just a gut feeling. I asked the owner to take a look, and it turned out to be a rare coin from the 1940s. Not worth $1.2 million, but definitely enough for me to walk out of there with a good deal. Trust your gut and take a second look at those meh pennies. Back to the 1991 no mint mark Lincoln penny, though, its value has soared because of its scarcity. If you've ever thought about selling a rare coin, this is the kind of stuff that makes the coin market so exciting. So, let's say you're on the hunt for one of these bad boys. How do you know if you've got one? It's pretty simple, actually. If you've got a 1991 penny, check under Lincoln's chin. No mint mark? You've got yourself a possible gold mine. But here's the catch. You'll want to check the condition of the coin. The ones that are worth a ton are the ones in near-perfect, mint condition. That means no major scratches, no worn-out edges, and the details on Lincoln's face should be crisp. It's like finding a vintage baseball card. Condition is everything. Now, I'm sure you're wondering, where do I even look for coins like this? Well, my best advice is to start with coin shops, estate sales, and even online auctions. The internet has made coin collecting so much easier, and there's a ton of resources out there where you can check the authenticity and value of rare coins. So, why does this particular penny get so much buzz? Well, rarity plays a huge part, but there's also a certain level of intrigue and excitement about finding a coin that's literally worth millions. It's like finding buried treasure in your couch cushions. It's that wow factor that makes the coin so attractive to collectors. And you know what? It's not just the 1991 no-mint mark penny that's worth crazy amounts of money. There are tons of other pennies and rare coins out there just waiting for you to discover them. You just have to know what you're looking for. So, what's the takeaway from all this? Keep your eyes peeled for those little mistakes in minting because they can turn into huge finds. Whether you're scouring your change jar, hitting up yard sales, or visiting local coin shops, the world of rare coins is waiting for you. Now, I know you're probably itching to head out and start hunting for that elusive 1991 no-mint mark penny, but before you do, let me hit you with a little reminder. If you want more tips on rare coins, how to spot them, and what to do with them once you find them, make sure to hit that subscribe button. Trust me, you don't want to miss out on the next big coin tip that could turn your collection into a fortune. All right, folks, happy hunting, and may your pennies always be worth more than you think. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this video with your coin-loving friends. What if I told you that a single penny, yes, just one little copper-colored coin, could make you a millionaire? I know what you're thinking, yeah, right, and next you'll tell me my jar of pocket change is my retirement plan. But hear me out. There's a 1984 Lincoln penny out there, missing a mint mark, that has sold for a jaw-dropping $1.3 million. And guess what? There could be more floating around just waiting to be found. Now, I don't know about you, but if there's a chance that a tiny piece of change sitting in my car's cup holder could pay off my mortgage, I'm checking every last one. So today, we're diving deep into the 1984 no-mint mark Lincoln penny. Why it's so valuable, what to look for, and how you can cash in if you're lucky enough to have 1.0. And stick around because I'll be sharing a personal story about how I almost threw away a valuable coin. Something that still haunts me to this day. You won't want to miss it. All right, grab your coin jars, put on your detective hats, and let's get started. Why is this penny worth over $1 million? So, let's address the big question. Why would anyone pay $1.3 million for a penny? Did it come with a genie inside? Does it grant superpowers? Not quite, but in the world of coin collecting, rarity is king. The 1984 no-mint mark Lincoln penny is special because it was struck without a mint mark, meaning it doesn't have the tiny D for Denver or S for San Francisco. Normally, pennies minted in Philadelphia didn't have a mint mark at that time. So what's the big deal? This specific 1984 penny was accidentally struck with a double die error, meaning the design was imprinted twice, slightly off from the first strike. This created a clear doubling effect on the letters and numbers, most notably on Lincoln's earlobe and the word Liberty. And because it was struck in pristine condition and perfectly preserved, collectors went absolutely bananas over it. Think of it like a rare baseball card. If it has a tiny misprint, it suddenly becomes a collector's dream. Same concept here. All right, now for the fun part. You might be sitting on this gold mine without even knowing it. The penny will not have a small letter, D or S, below the date. If it does, sorry, no jackpot for you. But don't toss it yet, because other pennies can be valuable too. Check Lincoln's earlobe. If it looks like he has a ghostly second earlobe, congratulations, you're in business. If the word Liberty and the numbers in the date, 1984, look like they've been printed twice, you just might have a winner. Even if you find one, it needs to be in excellent condition to fetch the big bucks. No scratches, no discoloration, and definitely no signs of your dog chewing on it. Now, let me tell you a little story that still makes me cringe. A few years ago, I was cleaning out my car and found a bunch of old pennies mixed in with some stale French fries. Gross, I know. Without thinking, I tossed them into a tip jar at my local coffee shop. Fast forward a few weeks, I started getting into coin collecting, and I learned about a rare double-die penny from the same year as one I had thrown away. My heart dropped. I raced back to that coffee shop, hoping, praying, that my pennies were still in the jar. But of course, they were long gone. Now, do I know for sure that I tossed a valuable coin? No. But does it haunt me every time I see a 1984 penny? You bet it does. Check your change. You never know what you might be giving away for free. So, let's say you check your jar and bam, you've got one of these rare pennies. What now? Well, first of all, don't spin it at the vending machine. Okay? Use a magnifying glass or take it to a coin dealer for confirmation. Get it graded. If your penny is in excellent shape, send it to a grading service like PCGS or NGC. A certified grade will boost its value. Auction it off. Rare coins like this often go for the highest price at big auctions like heritage auctions or Stacksbowers. Trust me, if you've got one of these, collectors will be lining up to get their hands on it. So there you have it. Your pocket change might just be your payday. The 1984 no mint mark Lincoln penny is one of the rarest and most valuable era coins out there, and who knows? One could be hiding in your house right now. Now, I have a challenge for you. Grab your coin jar, dump it out, and start checking for that double earlobe Lincoln. If you find something interesting, let me know in the comments. And before you go, make sure to hit that subscribe button because I've got more crazy coin finds and money-making collecting strategies coming your way. Who knows? Your next big treasure could be in your pocket right now. All right, folks, let me ask you a serious question. When was the last time you actually looked at your pocket change? I mean, really looked? Because right now, sitting in someone's jar of pennies, in a couch cushion, or, heck, maybe even in your car's cup holder, there could be a 1981 no mint mark Lincoln penny worth a jaw-dropping $1.4 million. That's right, a single, ordinary-looking penny that could change your life. Now, before you go dumping your change jar all over the kitchen table, stick around because I'm going to break down everything you need to know about this rare penny, why it's so valuable, and most importantly, how you can find one. Trust me, you don't want to miss this. Let me start with a quick personal story. A few years ago, I was at a gas station, minding my own business, grabbing a soda and a snack. The cashier handed me my change, and as usual, I did what most people do. I shoved the coins into my pocket without a second glance. But that night, I dumped out my change like I always do, and something caught my eye. A weird-looking 1981 penny. It just looked different. I thought, hey, let me check this thing out. And guess what? It wasn't worth much. But that moment changed the way I looked at coins forever. Because just a few months later, I learned about the 1981 no mint mark Lincoln penny worth over $1 million. And from that moment on, I started checking every single penny. First things first, most pennies have a mint mark, a little letter under the year that tells you where it was made. But the 1981 no mint mark penny is a mystery. It shouldn't exist. Some experts believe it was a mistake, a slip-up at the U.S. Mint that allowed a few of these blank-looking pennies to escape into circulation. And when rare errors like this happen, collectors go wild. Well, it all comes down to rarity and demand. The fewer there are, the higher the value. Over the years, collectors have been hunting for this elusive coin, and only a handful have ever been found in top-notch condition. And here's the kicker. One of these bad boys recently sold at auction for $1.40 million. Imagine that, turning a measly penny into life-changing money. Look under the year. If there's no mint mark, you might be onto something big. Inspect the condition. The better shape it's in, the more it's worth. Get it verified. If you think you have one, take it to a coin dealer or send it to a grading service and remember, every penny counts, so start checking those coin jars. Now, let's be real. Most of us probably won't stumble upon $1 million penny. But hey, you never know, right? Someone out there is holding on to this fortune and has no idea. So here's what I want you to do. Start checking your pennies today. Who knows? Your next gas station trip, your next handful of change from the grocery store, it could be your lucky break. And if you love learning about coins worth big money, make sure to hit that subscribe button. I drop videos every week with the latest coin collecting tips, strategies, and hidden treasures you might have in your pocket right now. All right, folks, let me ask you a question. When was the last time you actually looked at your pennies? No, seriously. I mean, really looked at them. Because if you've been ignoring those little copper coins, you might be missing out on a $1.50 million payday. That's right, a 1978 Lincoln penny with no mint mark has been making waves in the coin collecting world. And if you've got one, you might just be holding on to a retirement plan in your pocket. Now, I know what you're thinking. Come on, no way a penny is worth that much. But trust me, after today's video, you'll be digging through every couch cushion, every old piggy bank, and maybe even bribing your grandma to check her coin jar. In this video, I'll break down exactly why this penny is so valuable, what makes it special, and how you can check if you have one of these rare gems sitting in your collection. And don't worry, I'll throw in a few laughs along the way, because let's be honest, we're talking about a penny being worth a mansion, and that's just wild. So, If you're ready to become a coin detective, let's get into it. Alright, so first things first, what's the deal with this coin? What makes a simple 1978 penny worth more than a brand new sports car? It all comes down to a minting mistake. See, most 1978 pennies were struck at the Philadelphia, Denver, or San Francisco mints. Coins from Denver have a little D mint mark, and San Francisco ones have an S. But Philadelphia pennies? They usually don't have a mint mark, and that's where things get interesting. Normally, a no mint mark 1978 penny from Philly is just a regular penny. But there's a very specific error where the coin was struck using a rare die variation, and only a handful of these error coins made it out into circulation. This tiny mistake turned an ordinary coin into a collector's dream. How did it become worth $1.50 million? Now, you might be thinking, okay, rare coin cool, but why is it worth more than my car? A few years ago, a coin collector, let's call him Bob, was sorting through a huge batch of pennies, just doing his thing, when he spotted something strange. One of the 1978 pennies looked off. The details were sharper, the strike was different, and something about the metal composition felt unusual. Bob took it to a coin grading service and boom. Turns out, he had one of the only known 1978 no mint mark error pennies. The penny went to auction, and collectors went crazy bidding for it. By the time the dust settled, that little copper coin sold for a jaw-dropping $1.5 million. Now, I don't know about you, but if I found $1 million penny, I wouldn't just be excited. I'd be ugly crying on the floor of my living room. Alright, so now you're probably thinking, okay, I need to check my pennies. And you'd be absolutely right. Look for a 1978 penny with an O mint mark. It should be in great condition, with sharp details. Examine the strike. The rare version has a more distinct design than regular 1978 pennies. Check the weight. This specific error coin has a slightly different metal composition than normal pennies. Get it authenticated. If you think you have one, take it to a professional coin grading service. And here's a tip, don't just check your own change. Ask friends and family if they have old coin jars lying around. Heck, ask your grandparents. They might have a hidden treasure just waiting to be found. So, there you have it, the legendary 1978 no mint mark Lincoln penny, the tiny treasure that turned pocket change into a fortune. Now, before you rush off to dump your entire coin jar onto the floor, do me a favor, hit that subscribe button. I bring you the latest and greatest coin finds, collecting strategies, and of course, stories about coins that are worth big money. And if you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up and drop a comment below. Have you ever found a rare coin in your change? Or are you about to raid your grandpa's old coin stash?